listening to Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof on Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof on Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof on Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Tuesday, November 21, 2023. So we're going through the week, day by day. Day by day. Tonight originally was supposed to be the Red Panda Chupacabra Alien Girl show about drama. People getting hacked, brutalized on the internet just for having opposing opinions. But that'll be next week, we think. So, nobody's going anywhere. And the drama just builds. But glad you could make it here tonight. Hope you had a nice day. As today was the day, I don't know. But it was an interesting day. Today for me was 2 days in one. I had a morning and then I had a midday. No. I had a morning, no midday, and now afternoon, evening. I'm telling you, this medication they're giving me, it knocks me out, I think. And they're like, no, it shouldn't knock you out. I'm like, every time I come home, I slept 7 hours last night. No, 6 hours last night, straight through. Didn't even have to get up to pee. Right? I slept the whole night. Man, I felt great when I woke up. As a matter of fact, I went food shopping after I got my, treatment, whatever, and made a huge breakfast. Kind of ate twice because I picked up something on the way home, trying to see how much food I could eat in a day. No joke. And I did that today. I ate as much as I could possibly eat. Every time I get hungry, I don't eat. So today I'm decided to eat, and I felt great. But I fell asleep morning to afternoon, another 6 hours. Five and a half. Unbelievable. I feel really good, though. Thank God. But I'm glad you're here. That's what's going on. Tonight, we're going to talk about, we have to talk about this because it's Birchhead. He's our guy, right? He's our congressional guy. And when I say congressional guy, he's conning his way into the UFO game. Just so he can get some, I might get some Tennessee votes. I don't know. But he's an interesting character and doesn't take shit from nobody. And you're going to see that when he and McCarthy kind of have a run-in lack of a better term, with each other. It's kind of funny. But this is what's happening with the politicians. They get frustrated. They got a lot on their plate. And, you know, I could understand all these handshake deals that go on behind closed doors where the curtains are locked. You know what I mean? Or as Elizondo would like to say, behind the house. Egush, grab that switch yourself. We're going to teach Giordano how to obey. So tonight we're going to talk about that. I do want to, we got so much stuff to go over. I'm going to try to do a good job tonight. I'm going to be professional all night long. For whatever that means. Gary Nolan, believe it or not. Hey, I think I'm a pretty fair guy. When people do well, don't I give them props? Gary Nolan did a good job at the Sol, I heard. I want to talk about the fragments that he analyzed. We'll go over that. Also, Diana Pasulka. We'll hear what she did. We never talk about Diana. Let's bring her in tonight. I mean, not physically, but mentally. But I do have something I will read first tonight. It's a question that's been on a lot of people's minds. Disclosure. We got a poll going in the room right now. Do you think disclosure, full alien disclosure, will happen in 2027? Because there's some guy, I can't remember his name right now, Saskatchewan? No, I don't know. But he's in that side of ufology where he says we're halfway through disclosure already. Really? Without any verifiable evidence that looks like a UFO and not a dot balloon or airplane drone? You got anything like that? You can't be halfway through disclosure without any evidence yet. Why do they have to try to manipulate us into believing such? So I made a comment, and I say the same thing anytime I see people say that. This is what you say. Hey, I appreciate your enthusiasm for disclosure, but I got to say this. You can't have a little disclosure. You can't be halfway through disclosure, just like you can't be a little pregnant. Capiche? You either are pregnant or you're not. You either have disclosure or you do not. Capiche? Oh, it's a one capiche show. Let's do a little roll call. Get this show going. Thor Panku. Welcome to the show. Best name in the industry. Y-O-Y Foos. Another good name. It's good to see you. Hey, the Sixth Sense. What do you say? How do you be? Good to see you here. Welcome to the show. Kelly Lewis with the EW in the house. Welcome to the show. The boss of Goof On. That's Diane Boss. Welcome to the show. Hey, Nathan. Nathan from the Quantum Show. How you doing, man? Good to see you too. Jeanette. Angel, the angel of Goof On. Welcome to the show. I don't know why I'm thinking about laughing. David Wilcox, not Wilcock. Welcome to the show. SoCal Squatcha, welcome to the show. Dry Toast, welcome to the show. Anomalies and the Real Deal, welcome to the show. The Big Band Man, Glenn Collins. No relation to big bands, that's just an identifier. Welcome to the show. Are we good? Moody Mongol, everybody. Moody Mongol, welcome to the show. Jeanette throwing down a $5 super chat. It's a super dono. It's where you don't know. You're just throwing out love. There's no message. There's no emoji face. It's just pure love. That's the 3-heart deal. That's as good as it gets. Jeanette. And you too can also help support Goof On the same way. I mean, if you can. All the links are in the show description. Super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. You guys are pros. Thank you for the support, by the way, if you do. And we'll announce your name when it comes up. And you can become a member as well and support what we do here. Jeanette. My phone just started going up. My phone. Shut off. God, I'm annoying.
I'm taking over a TV network. Finish up, honey.
I don't know where this is coming from. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I still had a safe, what do you call those things? A space thing on. You know, on X, one of their shows there. They do. All right, we were rolling, too. It was such a good beginning to the show. I was almost to the beginning. Jeanette, thanks for supporting. Mucho gusto, generoso. And if I didn't say your name, FAP, welcome to the show. Dan Bob, welcome to the... Who's coming in this front door right now? Brandon Smith just snuck in. Welcome to the show. The UFO man, he came through the window. So did Greg. Greg O'Brien's here too. Welcome, guys. I'm glad you're finding a way in. Paula Faust found a way. I don't know how, but what do you say? The Don of Goofon, he has his own chair. He was probably just waiting. Welcome to the show, Don. I can't kiss your ring, but I'll bow. Don Mofo. Josie _UK. So like I was going to say, if I don't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we got a lot of show to do. And I can't just keep yelling out names all morning. Huh? MIB phone attack. Yeah, that was weird, but we figured it out. I had one of those, I don't know why it started playing though, but I think I had it and never shut it off. I really don't know, to be honest, why that just started. I'm just assuming I left it open. I really don't know. All right, the show, Goof On, is, we don't have any advertisers that support the show. Because somebody asked me, do you get paid to tell people what you're drinking? No. But tonight we're drinking Prime Tropical. It is a wonderful, no-energy drink. Take two. No, I'm drinking Prime. It's a tropical. Do it again. No. I'm drinking Prime. It's a natural. Oh, you mother's ass. I know the script, Ed. All right, let's try it again. My hand's cold. No. I'm drinking Prime. It's a tropical energy drink with 0 sugar, and it's delicious. It's got the best pop top in the business, and it's got a great taste to follow. Prime. 2 for $5 at your local grocery store. Whoa, that's good. So, I don't get paid for doing that, even though I should. I mean, right there, take 3. That was gold, baby. It wasn't perfect, but that's the goal. It's going off again. What is going on with the phone? Stop messing with me. Huh? I don't know where it's coming from. I'll turn down the volume. All right. Terry Marwood's here. Welcome to... Abe. Hey, there's Abe. I never get to say hello to you. Welcome to the show. It's usually goodbye. I'm so happy. Jared Texter's here. Keep texting. It's the ex-wife? You mean after 12 years? And a new marriage? She's already married to number 3. Yeah. We all make mistakes. You know when you ask somebody to marry and you know you shouldn't do it? Right, guys? Every guy feels that way. They get on that knee and they go, oh, I got to get on my knee. And, if she says no, great. If she says yes, holy crap, life's going to change. This is me. So, hey, babe, thought maybe you'd like to get married. I'm not really a good wife. All right, well, let's give it a try anyway. I don't think I'll be a great husband. All right, we'll give it a try. 6 months later. That's how you do it, guys. Just tell the truth right at this. I don't think I'll be a good wife, she says. I'm not wife material. She was getting a second chance from her reality because her first husband's name was Rich. So she got another dick, right? Didn't help. Nah, Her mother married 5 times. Are you kidding? 5 times, and all the guys had a lot of this. So that's what she's doing. But anyway, I didn't come here to tell you that. That's one of my key phrases. And, I say that quite often. Tonight, I got to read this to you first. This is what I said to myself explicitly. Read this first. So I'm going to. Aliens will reveal themselves in 2027 with the public being prepared, claims ex-CIA agent. Who do you think it is, guys? Who do you think it is? What ex-CIA nut job would say that? You ready? I know you're thinking it. Here we go. When you see his face, you'll say, that makes sense. In 3, 2, go. See? Doesn't that make sense now? Why does he do this? He is absolutely a nightmare for ufology. Absolutely. This guy is a disinfo agent. I know you're going to say, no, he's not. All I have to say to you is, what has he given us that was proven? Absolutely nothing. Just stories. That's it. And it's very hard to confirm. Ex-CIA agent has claimed that aliens will reveal themselves in just a few years. Like, why would John Ramirez say that? Right? He worked with the elusive government agency for many years, told Podcast UFO, that all the talk of the discovery of UFOs and the government's cover-up is making them want to come forward. So the aliens are watching us talk about them, so they're getting excited and they want to come and talk to us. Ooh, they're talking about us, Molly. You called me Molly. Yeah, that's your, it's going to be your human name when we change you over from that to human. Oh, zip zap. I can't believe you noticed me. We're going to have so much fun replacing those humans. Little do they know. John Ramirez is an alien. What? He is an alien. That guy is disinfo Johnny. Johnny on the spot. He is awful. Who says that? An ex-CIA agent? Like, think about it. Like, he would be it's all right that he came out and said this. It's okay that he came out and told the world, don't worry, aliens are going to reveal themselves. We're going to prepare you. Really? Is that what's going on right now? Because nobody's preparing anybody for anything. And with only 3 years to go, and you know how fast 3 years goes? Like that. This is amazing to me that this is even a discussion, and that's why I have to talk about it. I just don't understand how John Ramirez can come out and say something like this. And what do we say all the time? Isn't it every 2 to 3 years, every year, every 6 months, however you want to put it out there? Somebody somewhere is always making the claim that disclosure is right around the corner. Sure, if you're chasing it and you're always looking for it, it's always around the corner. Why am I doing this? It's a good question. Because it's fun. And I want to be there for that historic moment. So I don't want to miss it. And I want to be prepared. I want to see the signs from the government they're preparing. I don't see it. But then again, would we? I think we're seeing it. It's very, very possible there will be disclosure, but it'll be a forced disclosure by the aliens themselves. It may happen, guys. I can't say it won't. The possibility's always there, but it's not. It's just not. And what was this? Ramirez told Ramirez claimed the accusations of a cover-up are merely a way to get people ready for the big reveal. And he said that this big reveal will come in 2027. Oh, there's more. Oh, that's it. Okay. All right. There's just other stuff. Crash. We're going to talk about crash in a little bit. Not entirely. God, why? Why do people love this guy? I don't get it. I think it's his face. Yeah, I think it is. If you see down in the corner here, right here, he's got a kind face, right? I mean, look at him compared to Jacques Vallée, right? Jacques Vallée looks like he should be, on Mount Rushmore with a little Hitler mustache underneath his nose. Yeah, not a big fan. But Grush, man, he's got a kind face. People like his face, I think. And they like saying Grush. People like saying his name. Is it Grush? Grush? No, really. There's a lot to do, right? Right, Burchett? Right? It has everything has to do in a name in this life. That's why Elizondo's name. It worked. Yeah, it sounds like a name that would be serious about UFOs. Luis Elizondo. Nah, I take it back. It sounds like a circus clown. Yeah, it kind of does. Luis Elizondo. Auga. Anyway, John Ramirez thinks that in 2027, we're going to have disclosure. Again. Remember, Lou Elizondo said we've had disclosure. Remember? Yeah. And then I just heard today, I don't know who it was, one of those players said, we're halfway through disclosure now. Halfway. Who's that guy? He's got this shit-eating grin. I got his picture right here. I use it in the show thumbnails sometimes. I think his last name is Saske? Hold on. No. You got to see who I'm talking about. It's not fair. Here it is. This guy. Who's that guy? That's the guy who said, your mother's got, it's humid out here, so it must be the humidity. Come on. There, yeah, over here. Here. There you go. This is the world we live in. These are the things we're given. So let's get to Burchett now. Burchett getting in a scuffle with Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy pushes him in the back. Yeah, there's video of it, I thought. Right here, right? Yeah. They're saying he assaulted him. Yeah. Let's just have some fun. Let's look at Burchett. Let's look at what our congressman, who's for disclosure and the truth, let's see how he acts. You be the judge. I mean, this is, well, they're calling McCarthy the bully. So I don't know. It's from MSNBC, so...
So cringy.
See, so.
You're going to want to turn away at first, but it's also just such a wild window into what's going on there. I think you will not want to take your eyes and ears off them. So this is what happened when Kevin McCarthy exited that meeting and encountered Tim Burchett of Tennessee in the hallway.
What did you get on the conference, how it went? It sounds like it went back and forth.
Yeah, I think it went all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin, didn't mean to elbow. Why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin?
I know, I felt so bad.
Hey, Kevin, you got any guts? Jerk.
Has he done that before?
No.
Huh. That's a new move.
Chasing him down.
got no guts. You did so. They sat there and the reporter said it right there. What kind of chicken move is that? You're pathetic, man. You are so pathetic. What a jerk. You need security, Kevin. Anyway.
Short while later, Burchett explained that what happened in more detail, telling reporters he believed the assault was intentional.
I was standing in the hall doing an interview with her, and Kevin McCarthy walked by and he elbowed me in the kidneys as he walked by. And it kind of caught me off guard. And you ever get shot in the kidneys, it's a little different than anywhere else. And so I moved forward.
You felt it was on purpose and not an accident?
Oh, it was 100% on purpose, man. What are the chances? 435 members of Congress, 8 of us voted against him. I'm the one who did it. I'm one of them that did it. He's publicly called me out. You know, and he didn't see any cameras. He didn't think anybody was paying attention. But he thought Claudia from NPR was paying attention.
Now, for his part, McCarthy denied the whole thing, claiming it was a tight area where they may have bumped shoulders by accident.
Did you elbow him?
Okay, no, I did not elbow him. No, I would not.
So if you want to see what a liar looks like, this is a great time to analyze the body language of a liar. I'm going to shrink me down. Shot it. Come on, shrinky dink. Why am I not being... No, there. All right. The first thing he says, he lies, and he closes his eyes. Watch.
Okay, no, I did not elbow.
See that? Classic move, right? We all do that. Every one of us does that. Did you take those chickens out of the oven? Are you kidding me? We all do it. Nah, we close our eyes like, oh no, he can't see me anymore. It's a subconscious thing we do with our eyes. Are you kidding? Can't see me. Oh no, where'd he go? That's funny. Let's see if we can find any more nuggets.
No, I would not elbow him. I would not hit him in the kidney. HC5.
He said it twice in the same breath. No, I wouldn't elbow. No, I wouldn't hit him in the kidney. I mean, he's trying to make it quickly. Hey, I didn't elbow him in the kidney. Didn't. And that's another form of somebody lying.
You're all down there, right? Not a very big hallway. So I'm walking out. You can talk to Bruce Westman, because I actually called him after you got...
He's shaking his head no, as he's saying, you can talk to Bruce, and he's shaking his head no, like, don't, please don't.
You guys reported something, said, did I hit somebody? Bruce Westman and I were walking out, and I guess a reporter was interviewing Burchett or something. I guess our shoulders hit, because Burchett runs up to me after. I didn't know what he was talking about. Some reporters asked me. I did not run.
His shoulders are shrugging. This guy's lying out his ash. Anyway, this is what we're talking about. Is this what we're talking about today? Oh, that's hilarious. What the hell was that? Wait a second. Hold on. I don't know what this is. Hold on. What? Huh. I don't know. That was weird. You wouldn't understand if I told you. Well, anyway, that's the saga, the Burchett, the McCarthy thing. I just thought it was interesting. That's it. But that's Burchett. Now, look, you could say, because from, more on that, apparently there was a lot of room, and that he came towards him is what we found out later on in that McCarthy intentionally hit him. But guys do that. We'll do that. If we rib somebody, maybe McCarthy was joking around, like, you got me this time. It could have been one of those, but he didn't react to it. He just kept walking like he didn't know what he did. Anyway, I don't know why we're still talking about it. End it. Stop. Okay, it's over. I'm done. So that Saul... that meeting they had, what was it, Saturday, the Saul conference? They had some interesting clips from there. Actually, that David Grush was on Joe Rogan. I don't know if you guys knew that. So we're going to listen to Grush on Rogan today. We're going to listen to it here. But there were some good things that were being done at that Sol thing. What is it? And I know, Gary Nolan discussed some very specific laboratory findings regarding the materials found at the Socorro sites. What is that place? Ubatuba? Is that what it is? Well, he's previously discussed some of this during interviews, but it's pretty interesting, nonetheless, what he found out and says. He says that part of the analysis that he gave, he says humans play with elements, but someone, being NHI implied, is playing with isotopes. The materials from the sites show no sign of technology. This is regarding the 1957 Ubatuba materials analysis, not what he said. Material, you'll see, is clearly the result of an industrial process. This makes no sense to me. Didn't they just say materials show no sign of technology, and then in the next, it says material is clearly the result of an industrial process? There's an unusual level of pure silicon with containment. Why? And then regarding the 64 Socorro materials analysis, they're unsure what part of the craft it came from. NHI, other material came from, other than that they got this information from Jacques Vallée, it says here. Material showed clear signs of engineering. Material clearly the result of an industrial process. Material showed an unusual level of pure silicon with contaminants. I said containments before, didn't I? Contaminants! Idiot. So, look, I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but when you read into what he did a pretty good job. But those are very, very similar from 57 and the Socorro in 64. Very similar. But I like that they say in the 57 Ubatuba analysis that humans play with elements, but aliens play with isotopes. You know what that means? To me? Nothing. Because I'm not a scientist, but it sounds cool. Sounds great, actually. It sounds very important is what it does. I may have messed that up somewhere when I was reading all that. I think I got a little lost. All right, my bad. Let's try this again. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, Peter Scoffish. That's his name. He says, we're in the middle of disclosure. That's what he said at the Sol conference, day one. Peter Scoffish said right before he introduced Leslie Kean and Hal Puthouse. What is his name? Putoff, for their discussion. Yeah, Leslie Kean. Right before he announced Leslie Kean and Hal, he says, we're in the middle of disclosure. Not in the beginning, but in the middle. Let that sink in. That's what he said. Foolish. You know, if I was a casual observer, just somebody interested in reading all about ufology, UFOs, what the government's into, and I come across this, and let's not forget, Elizondo told us we already had disclosure. Remember that? I don't have the audio, but we used to play that here too. We've already had disclosure. We did. Such a weird day. Isn't this a weird day? Did you guys have a good day? It was weird. All right. We got it. Let's realign. We're realigning. I'm realigned right now. I was off for a second. Hold on. I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm trying to pull something up for you. Yeah, because it's that time. You guys know me very well. How'd you know? Anyway, here's our daily reminder. Any day now. Whenever you're ready.
The Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy, not a ufologist. I never have been, I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
How to get that out. Every day we got to play that. Believe it or not, people don't know that Lou said that. It's a trip, isn't it? And you know, other people are playing it. And I am so happy that we started that. We did. Thank you guys for continuing playing that clip. And you know who you are. It is amazing. It really is. All right. I want to play a little bit of Grush on Joe Rogan Experience. You know what I like about playing the audio and whatever, the Joe Rogan Experience? They don't care. They don't copyright you, or anything like that. It's okay. Because I'm telling you that in case you guys have a podcast and you want to play some of Joe Rogan. I have never gotten, a copyright claim or anything from the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm not saying you won't. And I've played, 20 minutes on a show once, 15 minutes here and instead of the normal 1 to 2 minutes. But even then, 1 to 2 minutes is way too long. We're not supposed to play them really long at all. It's just that they don't have a copyright thing that detects us playing it. So Joe Rogan was smart that way to allow people to use his content. What a cool dude. Seriously, he could have been a dick. Here we go again. So I clicked on my link for Grush on Rogan, and it brought up the article I was just talking about. Here it is. Now it worked. Wow. So I want you to listen to a 2-minute clip. David Grush sums up why he or anyone else shouldn't spill the beans, all the beans. What? That he says why he or anyone shouldn't spill all the beans all at once, and that we need a controlled, official process of disclosure of NHI, CR, and the government's involvement. This is David Grush learning about ufology. Believe me, put me on the Joe Rogan show, and Joe Rogan will have a great time. We would have so much fun. I'm telling you, it's bullshit. You need to talk to one of us, Joe. Doesn't have to just be me. Should be.
It's like once you realize the phenomenon's real, then you realize we've recovered artifacts and, biologics or, dead pilots, if you will, even though it's, kind of creepy to even think about that in your worldview. You don't think they were ever, alive sometimes too, right? And I'll leave it at that only because that is something, the president and his cabinet need to disclose this in a controlled manner, going back to that amendment. I'm not here to, push the subject in an improper way. And that sounds like, why don't you just do it, Dave? I'm like, there's a lot of secondary and tertiary ramifications, socioeconomically, theologically, our relationship geopolitically with our allies and adversaries. This is not rip off the Band-Aid, and it's simple.
Why? Why? Huh? Why can't it be? It can be. That's a bullshit statement. So what he's thinking is that if we do this, it'll create a knee-jerk reaction from the other governments around the world. Yeah, it's kind of what he's saying. No, that is what he's saying. That's why I'm saying it. And that the people of the planet may not react in the way that you would want them to. No.
There's a lot of complex stuff behind the scenes that need to happen, and that's why I'm laying out all the general stuff that needs to be talked about during the disclosure process. But I should not be the one disclosing, and it would be highly inappropriate.
Don't worry, you're not.
Because I care about the health of the United States. And
you're not. You're a hearsay whistleblower. You're not even a real first-person experiencer. You're a guy who heard stories after stories from what the fuck, who gives a shit? He just, you know what he did. Story after story after story. And then do a little research. And you're going to find out that there is a little bit of corruption in the government with some funds going in other places where they said it was going to go, but it's not. And I have proof. Well, good. You have proof that the government's corrupt. Congratulations. Tell us something we don't know. Again, we know all this stuff. Oh, we got alien bodies. They were flying these things. We know. We heard all about it with Roswell. Oh, you don't understand the level of secrecy. Dude, we understand. People got killed for doing that. Oh, why aren't you killed? Oh, that's right, because you're a hearsay whistleblower. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You have no idea. David Grush is basically an echo chamber from inside, just echoing what the government wants us to hear. It's bullshit. That's why he went through the DOPSA review. Yeah, DOPSA. That's why he did all that shit. Because the government is doing it. He's not being a whistleblower. And it's all scripted, all planned out. It's been this way for a long, long time. Of course, there's been adjustments along the way. People died, they didn't expect them to. Maybe somebody fell off or, something happened, that the plans changed just a little bit. But the goal is the same, and that's to give the truth out with disinformation. That's what they do. That's what Grush is doing. He heard the truth. Yeah. Sure, he heard it. Yeah. Same stories you and I heard. Nothing different. Nothing at all, actually. The only thing I like about whistleblower stories is that you get to hear and maybe imagine what it's like to be in their shoes, experiencing it through the storytelling and like, wow, that must have been really cool to be Bob Lazar as he's talking about being inside the ship. It was like an injection mold. It was like, there were no seams, no bolts, no rivets. And you're like, oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, looks cool. Yeah, really smooth. Yeah, no screens, no little tiny seats for 3-foot tall people.
It's people and national security for me to do so. So I know there's people that are like, oh, why doesn't Dave say X, Y, and Z? It's like, this is serious. This is not like, haha, let me tell you a good story. I'm a serious guy. I ruined my fucking career doing this. I was going to make lieutenant colonel in the Air Force this winter. I was on track to be, a flag officer equivalent civilian in my career.
All right. This is a good part. And I hope Joe asks him why he did this. Because for David Grush, listen to what he's saying. Because this is all part of the mental, verbal gymnastics that they do. Yeah, he had all that laid out in front of him. Things changed. Now you're this. And and when things changed, he just said it. He's a smart guy. Do you think he would give up those careers, the monetary value that he put on himself to make all that money over all the years of his life as an adult? Why would he put all that at 36 years old away unless he was guaranteed some sort of income. Well, here you go. Welcome to Lou 2.0. That's what Grush is, in a way. But that's how it feels. It's got that scripted vibe, like these guys are told what to say. You know? He isn't a real experiencer. He's not a first-hand experiencer at all. Everything David Grush knows is what he heard. And he did a little research. Yes, I get that. But that's after he heard the cool stories about werewolves and Bigfoot and all the other shit that these guys on that side of ufology poured into his poor little head. And they know. They took advantage of him. You know why, right? Isn't it? Didn't they? Because this is what I heard. That they kind of took advantage of him because he's really a nice guy because he's autistic. And they knew they could somehow convince him to do this. Look, sorry. That's weak. That is a weak-ass statement. Whoever said that. I don't like it. Because look how far the guy just told us what his status is, and he's speaking eloquently with a language I understand but don't speak. He's a very intelligent guy. Yeah, he's a smart guy. So I doubt he didn't cover his ass. However, he could have been manipulated into every single step of the way, which I think has happened. I think he was manipulated and used to do what he's doing. And I'm not sure he expected it was going to be like this. So much scrutiny, so much opinionated people coming after him, like me. But I'm not coming after him. I don't go after people. I just talk about them. So it's a different thing. But I mean, I've only listened to 1 minute and 40 seconds. And all of this already went through my head. I'm sorry. I'm going to play the rest of it without comment.
I spent 18 years in uniform, if you count the cadet time, right? My whole adult life was serving as an intel officer. But I wanted to see, and I'm 36, right? Older millennial. I wanted to see change. So I'm throwing the flag out, and I'm here to hold the government accountable to do the right thing in a manner that is mature and thorough, because I don't begin to say that I know everything, all the different ramifications of saying certain things publicly. I don't know all the answers to that. And that's why I have to be careful, because I don't even know, I'll call it, collateral damage.
Oh my God. Really? This is great. Wow. What a great, and I got the full episode here. We're going to dive back into that. This is phenomenal. So David Grush just said on the Joe Rogan Experience, I don't know much. I want to listen to that again. The last 20 seconds. Yeah, hold on. This to me, and it got cut off because it ended. But listen, let's listen. I really want.
I'm here to hold the government accountable to do the right thing in a manner that is mature and thorough, because I don't begin to say that I know everything, all the different ramifications of saying certain things publicly. I don't know all the answers to that. And that's why I have to be careful, because I don't even know, I'll call it, collateral damage.
I don't know the ramifications of saying things publicly, certain things publicly. Well, you would hope that he would have a handler. And I think he does. I'm not sure. But anytime David Grush goes to speak on a public forum, believe me, it's been vetted, and they talked the night before. And, and the reason I know that, because Joe Rogan told us what happened with him and Bob Lazar the night before. They all went out to dinner. Joe smoked some weed, and they all had a fun time talking stories and shit. So I know Joe Rogan's that type of guy. He probably went out with Grush maybe the night before, took him to dinner, showed him, you know, his Bigfoot cast and all that stuff. I like this, though. This is really cool to hear Grush like this. This is better than hearing him on, you know. Hold on. What is this? All right, I'm opening up Spotify. Log in. Hold on, man. I have no idea what account. All right, this looks like we're getting it. Nope. Here we go. Let's try this. Try one more time. Yeah, I don't know the password. Wow. I don't need it, though. Let's get out of here. Grush on Rogan. It's playing. Here we go. Let's stop this. Let's go here. Here you go. 3, 2, go.
I was at the headquarters at the agency, and after the indoctrination I was giving to the senior person,
I don't want to hear this part.
This person, masters in intelligence analysis. I'm like, you know what? I'll figure out what this shit is. It's either going to be weather shit, maybe it's an adversarial program, maybe it's like a U.S. program. People are misidentifying on rare occasions. So fuck it. I'll go see where the data takes me. And, early 2019 or so, I joined the UAP task force. And then.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So I just heard David Grush say, fuck it. All right. Wow. Okay. He's trying to be like one of the guys. I dig it. It's okay, man. I want to see this side of Grush. See, I like it. I like it. Even though I don't like what he calls himself, but, can I just say something really? I'm being honest. I feel that I have to play this. I don't want to. I'm just letting you know. I don't want to. Because it makes me angry that he's not a real whistleblower. And everything he says, I'm just not going to believe. Or I feel like this guy doesn't know. He was bamboozled. He was taken advantage of. He was manipulated. Yeah, to a degree. But I believe he does know stuff. I'm not saying he doesn't know anything. I was mad before. That's why I said that. But I don't think he knows. And he said it himself, what he can and cannot say in public. Why that matters to me, to him, is beyond me. That's what I was trying to say. He just said the F word. Now he's worried about saying something that people might have an extra opinion on. It's weird. He can't win. David Grush is in a lose-lose situation. It has got to suck to be him sometimes. Hey, I've got to say what I've got a job to do. And my job is to give my opinion on what I think I see the government doing with David Grush. I think he's part of it. I think he accepted the role. I don't think he minds being the guy. I think he's enjoying the spotlight. And you can see that now. He's opening up. He's swearing. He's wearing casual clothes. The guy looks good. He works out. He's in shape. He's a 6'4", 200-something pound guy. He's a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's got discipline. He's smart. And yet I still feel like they took advantage of him. But I don't know. The only reason I say that it's because he's just not a whistleblower. I don't even know. That's why I don't know why I'm even playing this. It's like he's not real. Maybe that's what the crazy plane lady was saying. Maybe she saw Grush on the plane and said, he's not real. That's why he had a hoodie on. Come on, man. All right, let's hear what Grush says at the 10-minute. So
3 lights that had like these omnidirectional, like almost like pool lights. You know how you can't really tell where the light source is, and it was totally trippy. And that's just one example of many anecdotal with some evidence, pilot stories. And that's what made me dig deeper. And I started, cultivating my network. Like, has the government studied this before? This wasn't just OSAP and ATIP and Blue Book and all this shit in the past, right? This seems serious. So like, certainly the government has looked at this, and, I went to search for that program, and that's what I ended up whistleblowing on. Right.
So how did you initially discover this program, and like what was your first encounter with the information?
A very senior individual in the intel community came to me when I guess I was asking a lot of questions because I'm a very inquisitive guy, and it was like, hey, I need to introduce you to somebody. He listed that certain person's academic credentials, which were beyond reproach, PhD level education, clearance, resume was insane. I'm like, well, okay, sure. I'll talk to this person. And I ended up meeting that person in a top secret facility. And, he started to discussing like, hey, there's a program. I was on it. And, we were reverse engineering crash material that we've recovered over the decades, and he's like, I'm not joking, and, we're telling you because you guys have to report to the Deputy Secretary of Defense and Congress on this matter. Right. And we were actively briefing like Secretary Esper, Deputy Secretary Norquist, other cabinet level folks. Right. And it's like, there's an oversight issue because you're the UAP task force. You should be read into this stuff because like, why spend the taxpayers, dollars looking at stuff that we already have data on?
Right.
So
that is just right on the money. God, this is great, isn't it? Fuck. Man. He's just saying the right stuff, man. It's interesting, though, right? Now hearing him this way, for me it is. For me it is. It's interesting hearing him like this. I like it. I like it a lot. I like him this way. However, it's whistleblow. It's not a whistleblower. And you know what? You want to know what I'm feeling? You want to hear, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm falling for it. I know what they did. I just realized it. This guy's so likable. I'm beginning to believe that he was a real whistleblower for a moment. Yeah, they're smart. This was a total 180 from Lou Elizondo. Okay. Let's keep our emotions out of it and let's stay focused. I understand why now people have this likeness for David Grush. In the few minutes we spent, the few minutes just watching him in a laid-back environment, I like him. But I do feel like he was somewhat manipulated, and everybody, it's okay, David, if you were manipulated. Everybody is from the government. But I'm really interested in hearing this whole entire thing. Let's continue right here. And I believe I want to play parts of this each night this week and talk about the important things. This is what it's all about, right? This is what everybody's focusing on in ufology right now. It's David Grush, it's whistleblowers. I'm not talking about the interview. I'm talking about whistleblowers and this guy's story. Story. But he's a likable guy. Damn it, David. Can you say something so I can not like you? Go.
That spooked me, and that was like fall of 2019. And, you know, I don't take a guy's word for it. I'm like, you know what? Myself and my trusted colleagues that had a lot of special accesses like me, you know, we cultivated our network, and we ultimately interviewed about 40 people or so, all the way up to multi-star generals, directors of agencies, mid-level guys that literally touched it, worked inside of it, all the stuff. They brought intel reports for me to look at, you know, documents, and a lot of that I could cross-verify with other oral sources that my high-level colleagues or I talked to, and you know, it checked out, especially when I had enough information on, and I know who specifically to ask, like, hey, well, I read into this. Like, I'm on the UAP task force, and we went to those, I'll call them gatekeepers for the lack of a better term, and they basically said, fuck you to me and my colleagues.
So why were these other people willing to discuss this with you?
Well, they determined I didn't need to know. I was already cleared at such a high level, handling presidential material and everything. It's like, Dave needs to know. And they felt that coming to us, it was a form of a protected disclosure. They felt that they weren't really violating anything because, you know, we were the, I'll call it the investigatory body for the Department of Defense and the intelligence community and Congress at the time. And they, you know, you are allowed to, you know, disclose to a government official in an official capacity. And I, you know, did that. And, you know, of course I protected those people and do know I took those people, a lot of them, and I brought them to the intelligence community inspector general when I filed my complaint, because I don't want people to, you know, hear it from a secondhand source. You know, people call it hearsay, whatever. Though I have some firsthand knowledge, I eventually talk about someday. I'm trying to get it clear.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Did you hear it? Hearsay. He even said it. He knows it. Listen.
And Congress at the time, and they, you know, you are allowed to, you know, disclose to a government official in an official capacity. And I, you know, did that. And, you know, of course I protected those people and do know I took those people, a lot of them, and I brought them to the intelligence community inspector general when I filed my complaint, because I don't want people to, you know, hear it from a secondhand source. You know, people call it hearsay, whatever. Though I have some firsthand knowledge, I eventually talk about someday. I'm trying to get it cleared, but
oh, the Jesus hands come out. Please believe me. That's what that says right there. Hold the phone, Jack. That's what he's telling us with his hands. Hey, I have that same wristband. He's not that cool. He thought that color matched the shirt. See, I've made that mistake because his lights weren't on at home, I bet. Or he put his shirt on with glasses. No, I don't know. It just doesn't match. I've done it, though. Yeah, this is interesting that he did mention how he is known. He didn't say it. I'm what is it, paraphrasing. So he says, you know, I don't want to be like secondhand guy, you know, hearsay. So he hears it. He hears everything. So hear this. Hear this, David. Question. Why didn't you wait a little bit until you had your first-hand encounters cleared to talk about before you became a hearsay whistleblower? Why do it the hard way? Because I personally think this is the hard way. I want to know why you just didn't wait another year or so to get that approval from the government. See, if he could answer that, it'll answer my question and my other and many questions we have. Why now? Why couldn't you wait to be a little more credible in the eyes of the skeptics instead of being a hearsay guy? But, the more I hear, the more I like, but it's still a nice guy telling us things we already know. Right? I'm going to play another minute or so and we'll move on. But this is pretty wild stuff, man.
For security processes. So they could hear it and hear the details, like, who, what, when, where, why, where the shit is, who's in control of it, what are the cover programs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's what deemed my complaint credible and urgent in July 2022, which is my complaint, yes, was about reprisal too. I filed that separately eventually to the Department of Defense Inspector General. That's an ongoing investigation, but it was my congressional oversight UAP crash retrieval allegations that was deemed credible and urgent. It was sent to the Director of National Intelligence, and then it was sent to the Congressional Intelligence Committees around that time, July of 2022. And I eventually went to Congress in December of 2022, and it's a crazy story why it took so long. It's fucking nuts. But I provided total about 11 and a half to 12 hours of classified testimony to the congressional staffers and their lawyers for both the House and the Senate. And I went, full open kimono. I mean, I told them as much as I could within my time slot, if you will. So,
wow. Man. Hey, we're stuck. Powerful man. I love it. It's history in the making right there. David Grush swearing it up. I'll play more this week. If you guys want to go listen to it, I recommend it because I'm going to play it every day this week, a few minutes here and there, 5-10 minutes. We'll talk some about what he said. But I'm going to listen to that whole thing probably tomorrow. And I'm going to make notes and timestamp what I want to talk about so we don't have to sit here a long time. I think this is a super important interview with Joe Rogan, probably more important to me than the subcommittee hearings or the congressional hearings with David Grush and the Mexico hearings with the Peruvian mummies. All right, that's totally different, but you know what I mean. What a year it's been. And with Thanksgiving only a few days away, some people are, looking up to the skies, just praying. But do everybody a favor. Get that camera ready. I'm telling you, I have a weird feeling about Thanksgiving weekend. More so, I have a really weird feeling about Christmas. I have for the whole year. I said at the end of this year, I think something major is going to happen that could qualify as a mass sighting of something weird. Don't you think that might happen? I think it will. And I think that it'll probably happen during maybe a parade. The Macy's Day Parade. Didn't they do that on Thanksgiving in the morning or whatever? I believe there'll be some sightings there. However, drones are going to be everywhere. So a lot of people are going to make some false identifications, and that's okay. We're going to have fun disseminating everything the next day or so. But, we'll be here. We're going to do the show. I don't think I'm going to be at my parents' for more than a couple of hours. So, we'll be home Thursday night if there's no football on. So if there's no football, there will be a show. If the football game ends later and it's on during showtime, it'll be after the football game. All right. We'll probably go 8 o'clock Thanksgiving just to be safe. But I want to do a Thanksgiving show. And hold on a second. Whoa. Really? You know what? You are just unbelievable. Nathan, throwing down $11.11 on PayPal. Says, gotta say, he says, gotta say, hashtag Team Tim. Team Tim here. Don't care a bit about Grush, though. Oh. He's their show pony, he says. Very good. Now I get it. So to reread that, gotta say, hashtag Team Tim, not a big Grush fan. He's their show pony. Yeah, he is. He's a likable guy, though, isn't he? He plays a real likable guy. You know, when I'm watching him on the Joe Rogan Experience, Nathan, thank you very much for being a decade or two supporter of Rich. Goof on. I got to tell you, I mean, thank you. Mucho gusto, generoso, pal. Really, thank you very much. Nathan's, been around longer than anybody else. Yeah. You are not just Goof on, we're talking the AZ UFO show. Don't worry, there's a documentary coming. All right. I was supposed to read this too? Oh, right. So at the Saul conference, Diana Pasulka discussed the convergence of the 4 UAP research traditions that are becoming clearer and emerging in the current push for disclosure, as they say. First, the invisible tradition, the invisibles tradition of UAP study, like Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Remember that guy? Second, ufology as the public scholarship / study of UAP, like the late Dr. James McDonald. Third, the academic study of UAP, like the late Dr. John Mack. Fourth, the study of UAP as an emergent phenomenon. Yes! And the fourth one on the list, the one I just told you about, is still being defined as we speak, although she hinted at the term interdisciplinary. Given the physical and social scientists in attendance, that term makes a lot of sense. This is really cool, man. You know what? I have to tell you, GoofOn is expanding its horizons. Last year, I talked about getting more into the spiritual nature of UAP phenomenon, because we talk about it a lot, that dreams, abductions, shadow people, you name it, could be demons / aliens. There's good and evil, of course. There's got to be. That's the human element when it comes to the alien phenomenon. And I really believe we need to have someone come in here and do that and give us a look into, is it the ethereal? The ethereal? That view on things. And people who have experiences that are similar to what we all have experienced. Look, a lot of you out there have seen me over the years get angry. The hoaxers, the liars, the cheaters, the charlatans. In between those people, there are people who seem to have a little more knowledge than the others. And I'm looking into that because I've met a few people recently who seem to be really smart when it comes to this stuff. Like, they're telling me everything they know. Like, I get what they're saying. I just can't repeat it. I just can't. I have no idea what you said, how you said it. I mean, I understand everything and I can relate, but I wouldn't be able to project it or repeat it as eloquently as they do. So I'm looking to bring somebody here to do something like this and bring maybe once a week or twice a month a look into the ethereal? Is it the ethereal? Into the phenomena in another way. In a way that I can't do it. Not because I don't want to, because this is something that would take somebody with probably a lifetime of experience to do. Like, you know, Michael Roser from Dark Hour Paranormal? He was going to be coming on last year to do that, but he had to go back to work, you know, like most of us had to. And unfortunately, we just couldn't make the connection enough to where he'd be on consistently. But he's doing something else that's so cool. But there's other options. Somebody like him, and these options that I have are surprising to me. And I'm grateful that these people would like to give their time. So in the near future, I don't know if it'll be next week, the week after, a month from now, maybe starting next year anew, GoofOn is going to be expanding horizons a little bit. And I know a lot of you, as I was about to say, have seen me be this guy that goes after all the charlatans, the hoaxers, and this and that. But we can't ignore it anymore. And the only reason we can't, because it's being talked about in our government. And I can't just let that slip away. We have got to stay on top of every angle of ufology, whether it be the unbelievable, right? Because everything we have seen thus far from Jeremy Corbell is bullshit, yet we still talk about it. So why can't we talk about other things that you may find a little bit bullshittery in it? But then again, it's all bullshittery mixed in with truth, mixed in with, I don't know, man. This could be a spiritual thing. It may not be alien at all. And I think we got to look at it from every angle. I can't do it by myself. I am admitting that. And I always have. But I don't want you guys to pound on me or whoever I bring on here for opening up our minds a little bit. We have to. And GoofOn was always about staying relevant to what's happening, and we haven't had the chance. Because I just haven't gotten in the groove this year. This year's been tough. So I think we're out of that. So maybe in a month, maybe in a week, maybe next year at the beginning of the year, things will be a little, just a couple times a month. That's it. That's it. I'm not saying every day. I'm not saying every day. Every day it's like, except for those days, we'll be like, we'll think a little bit. We'll get our theologians in here and we'll start discussing things like kings and queens did. I don't know, whoever did it back then. I don't know. But thank you for Diana Pasulka for talking about it. But that's it. I need to see some action. Everybody does so much talking, but let's see something. I think you're going to enjoy what GoofOn has in store, because I already know. I already know. Whether or not they know it, but I know what I want. And if everything works out, it'll be kick ass. You guys will be happy. Hey, if I'm happy, nah. I have so much stuff to still go over. All right. So, all right, let me pull this up. It's a video. It's a short. Let me see which one. Oh, yesterday, I talked about Yamaguchi, that guy who saw the big UFO. I said it was 1980 on his way to Alaska doing something. This is that story. I found it by accident. It rolled. You know what happened, I bet? Because my phone's always sitting next to me, it got recommended through hearing my voice, and it sent it to me on a recommendation. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know that the phones listen. Everybody's listening all the time. Everywhere, every time, every second of the day, you're being watched, listened to, and graded. Go.
Alaska, November 17th, 1986.
84. Ah.
Japan Airlines Flight 1628 is carrying cargo from Paris, France to Narita International Airport near Tokyo. The three-person crew is led by Captain Kenju Terauchi, an ex-fighter pilot with over 10,000 hours of flight time. As the 747 approaches Anchorage, Captain Terauchi notices two strange lights out of his cockpit window. Captain Terauchi realizes the lights are strange oval-shaped flying objects, and they're getting dangerously close to his aircraft. The two UFOs suddenly disappear.
Ah!
In their place is another object.
Holy jumping Jupiter!
It dwarfs the 747.
Look at that. Remember I said yesterday it was like the Earth next to Jupiter. Look at that. Can you imagine? Acorn shape. Yeah, that guy, sadly, he tells the truth because it was on radar. And the tower saw it and had the conversation. He lands. They designate him to go fly a desk for the rest of his career. Thanks a lot. You know, back then, 1986, the year I graduated. 8th grade. I love that story, though, because I believe it. Because it's real. That guy, he's still alive. He talked about it. We could probably get him for an interview. That'd be cool as hell. What am I doing? All right. Ma! Meatballs! Ben, the Yorkshire Gaffonian! She already got him set up. Yeah, he didn't get them on Sunday for some reason. Okay. Not that I wanted to go back, but I have the clip here. I'm going to play it. It's David Grush again. But this is the one, this is the original thing I wanted to play earlier. Now, look, I'll put the link to these clips in the show description. You know, about 10 minutes after the show ends, it should be up. I don't know what I was going to say. I put the link in there if you want to watch it. I mean, yeah, what the hell. But this was really cool. I really wanted you to hear this one, and I got carried away. Giddy up.
The stuff is...
Wait a second. You mother's monkey.
Landing or crashing around the world, and unexpected countries have had this happen, and that's why I picked that, because I thought that was a interesting case. And then, of course, Pope Pius XII and the Vatican were involved, back-channeling it through the OSS, which became the CIA later, to FDR, and that's how the U.S. knew something weird happened in Italy right before World War II. But
so this was 33 was the first documented.
That is the earliest one I can talk about. Yeah,
there's something that predates that.
You could infer that.
You could infer that.
Yeah.
So this 33 one you said was in Italy.
Yeah, magenta.
See, I don't understand why he can't just say the other ones. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, what he talks about here is really cool. All right, I'm going to let this roll for another minute.
So it's, I'm bad at geography. I think that's like a Lombardy region. It's like northwest Italy.
And what's the story behind it?
So basically it looked like it crashed, right? The original shape most likely was like a lenticular disc-like craft, with like two dinner plates.
What does lenticular mean?
So like two dinner plates, smushed together, right? The hump, and there's like a, like a bubble on top.
Like the classic,
saucer. Like that.
Like that. Okay.
But it looks like when it hits, the edges broke off, so it became this like bell or acorn shaped thing, and there was nothing in it. It was like just an artifact. There was no biological remnants, if you will. So it's so funny because the Italians were so confused, they actually called up the Germans and they were like, is this one of your Wunderwaffe? Like, what the hell just crashed in northern Italy? Mussolini, and this is all publicly available information because some Italian researchers found all these original documents that some people were sitting on for years in Italy. They put a gag order on the press, etc. And Mussolini asked.
All right. Yeah, we know. Yeah, the crashes back then, before Roswell documented. We know. We know. But Roswell was special because that one went international and by accident. In my opinion, it was an accident, but I don't know. You never know if they did this purposeful. Yeah, they couldn't have, when they had the crash in Roswell, they didn't just say, finally, something crashed. Now we can call it an alien ship. That was never in the plans. It wasn't like 9/11, where that was planned for 20 years and all of a sudden it happens and we're like, oh, it was terrorists. No, it wasn't, you idiot. Well, in my opinion. But what do I know? I only lived through it. What do I know? Hey, what's up, I2TA? How you doing, man? Bob Marley, too. Hey, Jeff, what's up, man? How you guys doing? I see ya. What is going on? Anjali, hey. Anjali, wait, what? I thought that was you. Holy crap. I thought I was just seeing it. Seeing stuff. I get people who lie all the time about who they are. That's her. Oh, thank you for hanging out. I can't believe it. It's Anjali. Wow. Yeah. All right. I'm just seeing who's here. I hardly look at the chat room. It's amazing I looked at that time. It's like the energy. She did that. Anjali did that. She's got that power. Yeah. Oh no. She's got it. Look, I'm here. Not really like that. Not in a whiny. So just like, Rich, look at the chat. And I did. At least that's how I feel it happened. Good to see you here. Thanks, Anjali. I hope I say your name right, too. I always feel like I'm not saying it right. That's just wild stuff. All right. Well, I'm going to bump this up a little bit. I think the next thing is what I really wanted to listen to. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, go.
Yes.
And so they take this thing and then they bring it where?
Yeah, I can't get into those.
Can't get into that.
No.
Okay, so they bring it somewhere in the United States, and was the attempt to try to back engineer this thing? Was the attempt to try to understand what it was?
Yeah, I mean, first of it, obviously, it's understanding the situation, right? What do we have our hands on, and like I've said in some other videos and stuff, that we took the Manhattan Project secrecy and overlaid it on this issue because that secrecy worked well for atomic bomb developments and whatnots, and certainly this whole program in a nutshell, if I were to summarize the 90+ years of history, it is a reverse engineering program to garner some kind of insight, and of course not a lot of the things that we've learned from it are directly ripped off the technology we found, but it has inspired other innovations that made it.
There we go. That's what I wanted him to say.
Its way into other U.S. classified programs over the year.
Right. So these UFO, these crashes, these artifacts, these archaeological finds, they spark ideas that we can use with our materials here on Earth. Maybe we can't use their materials and can't even back engineer it. We probably can't even pull it apart. I don't know. If it's anything like Bob Laser said, where there's no rivets and no seams or any way you could see how it was manufactured, how do you break it open without breaking it open? It's like an egg, right? It's like if you break it, do you break the whole thing? I guess I don't know if Bob Lazar ever said that. All I know is he looked down, he stuck his head down into where the gravity things were. And then we just heard, was it James Lukatsky who said that with Jeremy Corbell and Weaponized that we were inside craft. It's documented. It's a fact that we were inside one of these archaeological found UFOs. Jeff Garvey, that is awesome, man. You know, Angelique could make if I think what you're saying is when I was talking about the spiritual side of things, strange. I didn't even, she could. Anjali would be fantastic for that. It's just, the way the universe works, anything is possible. Jeff, isn't that weird? It's just so weird how that just, like, why would I look at the chat room at that time? I haven't looked at it for an hour, I think. It's weird. Thanks for the $5, man. I appreciate your support. Big time. Thank you. And everybody else who supports Goof On, thank you for that as well. All the links are in the show description if you want to support what we do. Because I think what we do is important. It's part of the puzzle. Like, we're not the no-wall end-all to everything here. Jeff, mucho gusto, generoso. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the support. I agree. What was I saying? Damn it. All right, we done listening to Grush? I got more to do. I think we're at an interesting time. I don't think disclosure is going to happen because I don't think they're doing it the right way. The process is taking too long. If we're going to have congressional hearings every 6 months, that's too long in between for the public to be interested without having anything else to keep them interested. So if you look at this year and you go way back to, let's say, April, May, because that's when the Las Vegas aliens, okay, first of all, we didn't even get wind of it, but in January was when the Peruvian aliens started attacking people, remember? So we kicked off the year without knowing about that. It wasn't here in America yet. It wasn't popular as far as I know. We didn't know until 5 months into the year. But at that time, without us knowing, because George Knapp and Corbell held it from us, the Las Vegas crash landing alien in that kid's backyard with his family at midnight and had the police camera of the object streaming across the sky. And he held it for 3 weeks in Las Vegas until Grush's interview on News Nation. Then he dropped the story about the Las Vegas thing. So we had that, and that starting us off, keeping us interested in ufology. Then we had the subcommittee hearing. NASA, which we forgot, did their news brief. Remember that? In between all this. So if you look at this year, we have been kept interested. They've kept us hook, line, and sinker involved. If you're really following the field, because it is a field, if you're following ufology, you're going to see 5 different stories. Don't forget Airplane Lady, crazy. He's not real, remember? And the boxer who was beating up the other alien he thought was on another airplane, that's strange. And that girl, he's not real, crazy plane lady, lives right by TMZ, possibly worked for TMZ. So was it a stunt that was put on, that she was paid to perform? There's so many weird things happening in this field. It's almost as if they're setting the stage for what? Say it. Let me hear you say it. I got to hear somebody say it. What are we setting what is ufology set up for? Don't make me give a hint. I said it last night. Where are we? I know it's a 20-second delay right now, so I'm waiting. I'm going to put it at the bottom. You ready? The false flag alien invasion. See, it's the perfect time. You got a war or two. You got the groundwork laid out. We already know this year what happened. He's not real, right? Aliens in my backyard. Aliens are attacking people in Peru. Aliens, aliens, aliens. Subcommittee hearing, congressional hearing, Peruvian alien mummy hearing. Twice. More NASA, more Grush, legislation talk, and Corbell throwing out his bullshit. Look at what this year has given us. And we've got 5 weeks left. 5 whole weeks. Anything can happen. And something is going to. I started this entire talk because Thanksgiving is only 2 days away. And stuff always happens around Thanksgiving and the 4th of July and Christmas and New Year's. You want to know why? Because it has to. It has to. Without some sort of mystery going on, everybody will forget. However, let me tell you this. I know, and maybe some of you out there, Ben and Jeanette, can attest to this, that in the UK, they don't talk about UFOs at all. It's very rare. And 20% of our audience is the UK. I would hate for those people to be misinformed. But when people are saying stuff like David Grush is a skilled ace, or his memory, sharpness, and eloquence impresses me, or I believe he's doing a genuine service to the world, for the world, or I also believe the Joe Rogan episode will advance the disclosure process. See, you say something like that. How in the world can it be advancing the disclosure process by having David Grush on Joe Rogan? I'll tell you how. Because I know you're wondering. But he's right. I fooled you. I made you think I wasn't going to agree. Because the more people see David Grush talking, the more people see David Grush speaking about UFOs in this manner, they will believe everything he's saying to the casual observer. I like what he's saying, but we've heard it all before. Now I sound like a broken record. I get it. I am. We all are. But let me tell you, if we don't keep, and I think I'm right. Okay, I think I'm right for the most part when it comes to we're not going to have disclosure anytime soon. I want disclosure, and I don't like it when I hear people anywhere, Reddit, X, it doesn't matter, Facebook, they say that we don't want disclosure. Are you kidding me? You don't know me then. And to blanket everybody who has a different opinion than those who are putting out the narrative to the mainstream world and think that we don't want disclosure are crazy. I want it probably more than they do. Probably more than a lot of people. But I just don't, we're not even close. And if Scoffish says we're halfway through disclosure and we haven't even seen any evidence, how can we be anywhere? I mean, how can he say that? Don't you think that's a manipulation of what people really know? So if you're a casual observer of this field and you come in and you're open-minded more than you should be because you don't know, you're willing to believe, you come in, you see, oh, they're halfway through disclosure? You mean I missed the first half? It looks just like it does now. No, you didn't miss anything. They're going to think disclosure means something else. Wait a minute. I thought we were halfway through disclosure. Why are people saying we still need disclosure? For the other half. And what's the other half? The evidence. That's true. Maybe it is. Maybe disclosure is halfway through. We just haven't seen the other half yet. The most important part of all, hey, if you told me 99% and all I needed to do was see a little piece of metal to prove, you're still not going to show me. You're still not going to show me that little piece because you're the government. You want that control. For whatever reason. That's right. The other half, that's right. It's the evidence. Eventually, Scotfish. Eventually, we'll have the evidence. That's funny. I didn't think of that before. Unbelievable. By the way, I was just talking about our good friend, UFO Jesus. So we did a poll in the chat for the show. We have 130 votes. I'm going to end the poll at 131 votes. The question was, do you think we are going to get full disclosure by 2027? 18% said yes. 81 said no. That, my friends, is an 80-20. That is what I figured. That is pretty close to what I figured 85-15. And who knows, if it was 1,000 votes, it could be. Pretty cool, man. Thanks for voting. So no, huh? You don't even think in 3 years. See, I believe some of those votes are biased to what you think I want you to say. I hope you don't vote like that ever again. Don't vote like that. Don't vote to make me happy. Don't ever do that. That wouldn't be fair to the voting process. So you're not hurting me. You're hurting the process. So don't try to make me happy again. Ever. I mean it. All right, we still got more show. Shh. Hold on, this is getting good. I may go a little beyond tonight. I kind of feel a little froggy. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Grush. Is this a Grush night or what? I didn't know I had this here, but I have to play it. He confirms that he was accused of mishandling classified information and was under criminal investigation for a few months, but he was eventually cleared. His boss, however, was fired as like a show of force. So I don't know. Maybe I won't play it. Should I? It's a good clip. We heard enough, Grush. I'll tell you what, tomorrow. I don't want to do that to you. See, I think you're tired of it. Maybe you're not. But I can't believe this John Ramirez clown. Anybody, don't believe this guy. Seriously, he is bad news. He's bad mojo. All right, and here, so Christopher Mellon spoke on the Seoul conference on day 2. And he was after that Carl Nell, who might be the next Arrow director. Well, Mellon began his discourse with the statement that his talk would focus on UAP disclosure from a national security perspective. So Mellon's talk was replete with subtle pieces of information that will require a lot of pondering in order to fully grasp. And here are some key points to his talk, from his talk. So he says, hypothetical. What if UAP disclosure changed the intentions of the phenomenon itself, since it no longer had an incentive to remain clandestine? Hold on. That is really interesting. But wrong-o! See, this is why Mellon can't be in this position. He's wrong. The UFOs aren't going to change their intentions because we recognize them. We've been recognizing them for thousands of years, you moron. Next. Regarding USG knowledge of the phenomenon implied, if you were the POTUS, President of the United States, Would you hold a press conference and say that we don't know where ETI is coming from, why they are here, and whether we can defend ourselves from them? The answer is no. Oh, do you know what that means? So Mellon told us why the government won't admit to UFOs. He just told us. That's good. That's good. You can't say you don't know everything, but we did. Elizondo said we don't know where it's coming from. He said it. We don't even have the technology to analyze it, follow it, or do anything with it. So why is Mellon even saying this is beyond me. Lou Elizondo, who is his friend, already said all that shit. And it's in the narrative. So what he's saying contradicts what has been put out there by his buddy Lou Elizondo. Because you don't need to have the president come out and say this stuff. Lou Elizondo already did it. Probably would get more views doing it the way he did it than doing it once on mainstream media. Lou's done it a lot on the internet. Next, Mellon says UAPs have been seen emitting radiation in the 1 to 3 and the 8 to 12 gigahertz range. Really? 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 They've been seen emitting radiation. They've been seen. Holy shit. This is amazing to me. Let me pull it up. I don't think you understand. You got to look at it and read it with me. I mean, it's just on an X thing, but instead of looking at my mug. I mean, really, this is where I'm at. Well, this is an interesting one. There have been cases involving UFOs causing serious injuries to military and civilians. Oh. Right, but not here in the United States. Not that I'm aware of, but I guess, yeah, you can talk about Betty, no, not Betty and Barney, the two old ladies and their nephew, Landrum. The Landrum case, where the upside down ice cream cone or right side up came at them, and then it stopped in the middle of the road, and then the Chinook helicopters came while they were getting baked by the radiation. And then later on, they wound up getting radiation stains and disease and wound up having problems. That's the Landrum case. Landrum Cook or something like that. Cook. Anyway, true story. That's true. Look, this is exactly what it is. The truth mixed in with lies. We can't let the government divest itself of the UAP disclosure issue. Why? The top question about UAP for USG policymakers and for the public will be whether UAP pose an existential threat. Oh, yeah, they already do. Yeah, that's what Lou talked about for years, couple. It was all about the threat. We don't know what they are. We don't know where they are. We just know that they are. Remember that? We don't have the technological capabilities to follow, to analyze, to... After the initial shock of disclosure, Mellon says, there would be an upsurge in new technology, research, and international initiatives. This initial crisis would soon subside after people realized that the world had now changed. Do you remember when the iPhone came out? Remember that? What was it, 05? That was the same year as the Chicago O'Hare sighting. No relation, no connection. But was it 05? I think it was 05. I don't know. Somewhere in there. 05, 06. Well, no, I got mine in 06 and I had the number 3. So, remember when the phone came out? The world changed with that phone. didn't happen overnight. But in the grand scheme of time and space, after a couple of years, the touch screen. Now, look, I mean, the phones are pretty much even, Samsung and iPhone. They pretty much are both equal in their technology. But it changed the world. No longer are people looking up anymore. Everybody's looking down. How's that for keeping your eyes off the sky? How'd that work out? Isn't that nice? Do you know people crash into walls, fall into holes, fall into fountains, not watching where they're going? There's a channel, I forget the name. The guy watches people all day in New York falling into fountains, falling downstairs, just because they're on their phones or their iPad and they're walking. There was a dog walker. All the dogs wound up getting dragged into this fountain with this. It was like 6 dogs. These poor little tiny dogs, just, all because she was on her phone and holding on to 6 dogs. I mean, we've gotten so when I drive I don't have a phone in my hand. I have it connected to the car. Always have. Always with the Bluetooth. I don't know. Driving while texting, it's worse than drunk driving. I wouldn't know. I never drank, but I've done it. I have texted and driven before when nobody was on the road, but I was all over the road. And I said to myself, there's no way I'll ever do this again. And I haven't. You can't do it. You can't do it and stay in the lane. You just can't. Anyway, here's what Mellon was talking about. If UAP end up being NHI, the ontological shock would be beneficial since it would spur creativity. Yeah, I guess so. Creativity, investment, and research opportunities. It would also have a critical impact on mankind and international relations. Of course it would, because everybody would want that technology. Disclosure will alter the trajectory of our species for the better. Nope. Now that's a big, bold statement. What if it's not? What if their technology has an adverse effect on us because it's not from this planet maybe, or it wasn't created here with human intentions? But I doubt that. I just don't see how he could make that determination without any research ever done in the history of man. Hey, you know what? Because every time a species, an advanced human, met a less advanced human, the more advanced human devoured the less advanced human. Every single time. Do you think advanced aliens would give a about what we want? Hell no. Matter of fact, I think it's a bad idea to try to make contact. I know. Look, I know you think that might be weird, but look, we don't know anything. If there was World War III, I know what my enemy looks like. I know what they're capable of. Aliens? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. If they can go through walls, read my mind, and disappear, cloak, and all that stuff, I don't want them here. Mm-mm. There will. Oh, I just watched the movie The Invisible Man, the one that came out a few years ago. Great freaking flick. If the aliens can cloak themselves that way, they could be sitting in the corners up in the, in the rafters. Who knows what they like to live in, and watch us all day and night. For all we know, they could eat spiders, or maybe they don't have to eat for a month and they just live off their own flesh and blood. And that might be acid. And they're sitting there in the corner like Spider-Man just watching us. And then every now and then we'll hear something, right? We'll hear and then we'll go, oh, I have a ghost in my house. But no, it's a freaking alien stuck in a corner like Spider-Man, cloaked. See, that's why we got to have these ethereal people on. We got to have more ethereal people. Ethereal people need to come on Goof On. Teach me the way. All right, we're going to continue tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for hanging out. It's time to go. I want to thank all the moderators and the super chatters. My God, the best. I don't care what you say about my mods. They're the best in the business. You know what? Don't forget Alien Girl in the Morning. Same exact type of show, but different. It's about UFOs and aliens. I think you'll enjoy it. Check out Alien Girl 111 in the morning. That's Nikki Starchild. She's good too. And we'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. What is it? Tomorrow's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Like I said before, maybe you weren't here. We'll be here Thanksgiving. I don't know what time. 7 or 8. Maybe 9, but probably 7 or 8. Now, if I get home and it's 7:15, I'm not going to wait till 8. I'm going to start at 7:30. So just keep your eye and ear open. And then have the other eye and ear on the party you're at, whatever. Whenever the football game's over. If that's over, I'm in. Whenever. If it's on at 8 o'clock. Anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out. Anjali was here. How cool was that? Yeah. It's always nice to have our subculture celebrities. I always feel weird when people say stuff like that about Rich Giordano. You know, he's been around for da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I cringe. I'm like, they know. All right, we'll be back. And what do we do here every single night? Can somebody scream it out? That's right. Kelly Lewis screamed it out. We do Truthology. That's Truthology for ufology. For you. It is for you. And everybody else. Look, 2 days to Thanksgiving. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget AG 111 in the morning at 7 a.m. I'll be there. Be good. Be happy. And love thyself. Alien Boy.
just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.